Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Nasal Congestion Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at what seems to look like a regular Corvette, but when you get down to it, just quickly pop the hood. Shit, I want this door stay open. Stay open though. Alright, finally got the hood open. But as you can tell, this thing does not sound like any inline 4. It sounds like a tractor from the 1930s, but you pop the hood and you realize, hey, that's nothing special. That's just a inline 4, right? But if you go take a look at the config, right? Boom, we got a 2.2 liter customizable flat 4 engine. It doesn't look like a flat 4 there, but trust me, it's a flat 4. It's just got a costume on for Halloween. But as you can see, this thing is completely upgraded, everything all crazy. And as you can see, probably down the bottom left, it's making about 1400 horsepower and 846 pound-feet of torque. And as you can tell, judging by the lack of a boost gauge and the fact that it doesn't say turbo over here, this thing is completely naturally aspirated. Now that may be hard to believe, but no, this in fact is not Photoshop. 10% throttle and we're already picking up speed faster than a normal Corvette. But if you pop it in second, put the gas down, this thing hits a tree. But what I was trying to say before I rudely got interrupted by a tree is this thing shakes your wheel more than driving over 10,000 children, 10,000 speed bumps in a school zone. And this thing also just doesn't really like to control that well, but I guess it's just made for the track and also just damage second gear. Obviously 1400 horsepower makes your car pretty quick. The only thing is I can't really put the power down in this thing because it has I kind of want to hit that jump. I can't really remember what I was saying, but this thing cannot put the power down because I cannot find any wide tires for this thing to actually be able to grip up. For some reason, there's no Alder draggers on. Oh no, that happens. Just gotta respawn it sometimes. So we'll take this thing down to the drag strip, which is right here, or the air strip, whatever you want to call it, and we'll see how fast this thing can go. Hopefully without shattering my glass desk, because force feedback, go burr. So the speedometer in this thing is completely unreliable. We're going 130, but it said something like 160, and then this game just completely broke my car again. I love me a front wheel drive, but I want to make this thing faster, so we got the 5-speed all-wheel drive manual, and I'm also gonna make sure that I have squared tires, or at least bigger tires as well, hopefully. So hopefully this thing is a lot faster, but just doesn't completely destroy my force feedback. It's almost destroying my force feedback. So hitting the jump at a 150 as it breaks the game yet again. So we'll also tune the transmission because this thing does not need that high of gearing. This thing is way too fast for its own good. And we'll go. So we hit the end about the same thing, and then my game decides to break again. That's a great segue to what mod this actually is. As you can see, this mod right here is RK's highly customizable engines, and there's like 13 different engines and stuff. Yeah, you got a bunch of them, as you can see right here. Not only does this mod add just new engines and stuff, and they're highly customizable engines, but this mod also adds different things like high performance radiator, as you can see right there, RKs, and it also adds such things like the race exhaust, and these are able to be added to base engines. As you can see, I'm on the base Corvette right here, and we're on the 1.5 liter single overhead cam. This is the stock engine, it's not a RKs. As you can see right there, there's the inline 3 engine, which you can recreate the GR Yaris pretty easily, and then probably give it like 2000 horsepower if you wanted to. So this may seem like a fairly reasonable pigeon. Looks pretty normal until you see the NOS bottle in the back, and then you take a look at the gauge cluster, and then you realize it revs up to 15,000 RPMs. Then you may look at the boost gauge, and then what's that, 5,000 pounds of boost right there, and then you look over at the power graph, and then you realize 662,000 horsepower sounds like a lot, and then you turn it on, and then you hear the supercharger, and you're like, God help me, I got a race car. Almost jumped out of my chair when I saw that body roll. Needless to say, this thing has many power. Alright, so we have to change it to a unbreakable rear drive shaft. We'll change the rear drive as well, and then put that down to 2-to-1. Sounds reasonable to me. So we no longer have 600,000 horsepower, but I'm pretty sure 4,500 horsepower in a Pigeon is just enough. Yet again, we blew up the engine. So as you can see, I have added a wheel speed UI app. Pop this thing into 5th gear and then drop it. Okay, that was, I'm pretty sure, 300 miles an hour right off the bat. So that's about above most highway speed limits in 1st gear. So I just realized that I can change the supercharger settings. I kind of don't want my computer to explode from it trying to render how fast my wheels are going, so I think I'm gonna be alright. So this is not particularly something that you see every day. That, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I saw about 130, I'd say, miles an hour in 1st gear. So we'll see what 5th gear has to offer. Apparently stalling is now possible. Holy crap, look at that thing's frame. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure it's just instant. There's no getting away from it. So here we have the Civetta Scintilla.
And so people, here it is. The Civetta Scintilla.
Anyway, so I'm gonna give this thing the engine that it should have had from the factory, or should I say from the BeamNG devs, because a 5-liter V10 sounds pretty good in my opinion, but 700 horsepower, maybe could have a little bit more. Anyway, so we're gonna swap in the 8-liter V16. I think I'm gonna leave it at 8 liters. I think that's fair enough. So I'm gonna customize it a little bit, so it's not 300 horsepower. I'm not even completely done this thing yet. I have it up to 16,000 RPMs, and the horsepower graph is linear and it keeps going up. So here I think we have the best case example for a Italian supercar. So I wanted to go with 1500 horsepower rear wheel drive. That probably would have been a bad idea, but at least the car company that would make something like this wouldn't have to deal with the customers anymore because they're all dead. They might have to deal with a few lawsuits, but I don't know, potato tomato, everybody will want this car. It's super fast. I decided to go for a 2100 horsepower all-wheel drive 7-speed sequential transmission. I think this thing's gonna rip. I already took it for a drive, so we're gonna put it on the high boost map. Low boost map is boring. So this thing rips pretty hard. I haven't touched the transmission because, to be honest, I don't care. Large horsepower numbers make me happy. It doesn't matter if it's bottlenecked by bad transmission. But we'll see how this thing does down the drag strip. So about 190 horsepower off the end of the drag strip. I think this is the ideal Italian vehicle. Like if you agree, and Italian supercar brands, please do better. You need to have a rocket of the street. It do not matter how many people get injured or killed from it. It is fun.